Hello, I'm Sue and this is Savage Spiel War Stories. A few months back I played in a Delta Green campaign on Roll20. The GM had previously run the same campaign and had copied all the handouts across. However, since the previous time he had run it in German. Occasionally we would accidentally get shown one of the German handouts instead of the English ones. On one occasion we were looking at the contents of a storage unit, and one of the items in it was 6 Granaten. Now, while I'm far from fluent, I do speak German, and I know that means 6 grenades. However, like most role players, I can be a little juvenile at times, and so, understandably, I read it as 6 grenades. And that immediately put me in mind of a game of Cyberpunk 2020. Now, first of all, I would like to give a quick disclaimer. While this was my home group playing, I was not in this game. I am in no way responsible for the events that follow. So Cyberpunk 2020 had a lot of expansion books, and one of them included some variant item crafting rules to let your edge runners create their own equipment. And the players got hold of this, and knowing these players, the natural assumption would be that they would create something absolutely horrific, something like nerve gas or something along those lines. And so the GM was actually quite relieved when what they actually came up with was jizz grenades. Yes, they do exactly what you're picturing. However, while jizz grenades are now an established part of our home group cyberpunk setting, they only actually ever got used once. Picture the scene. You're a security guard. You're working for Genericorp. It's a night shift. You're bored. Nothing ever happens on the night shift. Until today, when in runs an edge runner holding a grenade. Before you can even go for your gun, he's pulled the pin, prepared to throw it, and dropped it at his own feet. You cower, waiting for the blast. It never comes. Unlike the edge runner. Undeterred, he pulls out a second grenade. He pulls the pin and drops it at his feet again. Before you can even call for backup, he leaves, too embarrassed to continue this heist. Back to Delta Green. The grenades that we found in the storage unit turned out to be thermite grenades, which are a really useful thing to have in Delta Green, where you're often going to find yourself needing to dispose of evidence. However, because a lot of what Delta Green does is somewhat unofficial, you need a cover story. And my character's go-to cover story for why we were out in the woods setting off bombs and starting forest fires was gender reveal party. So in a sense, our 6 Granaten actually did end up being sex grenades.